Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a really quick guitar review. I was going to actually do a sound demo on this guitar. I just received it yesterday, and I'm not even going to bother doing a sound review because I will not be keeping the guitar. Obviously, just by looking at this, you can tell it's a LTD. It's the MH series. Judging by the binding and shit, it is a 1000 series. The only thing that sets this guitar apart from a lot of the other MH series guitars is this monstrosity on here. This is the Evertune bridge, and the object of this guitar, the way that it works, is you have these little saddles here. Each saddle goes all the way underneath, like inside of the guitar. I mean, it's routed right out in the back. Similar to like a Floyd Rose, but not at all, works the same way. What this does is this, if I were to pluck the string, you can see I'm tuning it. It's not affecting the pitch whatsoever. That's because this little guy here, as I tune down, you can see it drop in. Actually, now it's dropped a little too far. See it move up? This is what they call their zone 2. And it keeps the string floating inside of a certain area. Now you have a bottom stop, which is what you down tune so far. Eventually it hits the stop, and then the string eventually will go down in pitch. You also have an upper stop on this, where if you, like, for example, hear the pitch start to finally go up? That little bridge here is as far forward as it's going to go. If I loosen it up, it will drop down a little bit. Honestly, the bridge is a bigger pain in the ass than what it's actually worth. Number one, I got this guitar, like I said yesterday, and the intonation was automatic. It was already off. I mean, the thing was, it's in tune. It's in tune. The intonation was off. The thing that sucked was the minute that you monkey with these little screws on the back here, they changed the distance of the saddle going forward and back in this tiny little confined space. The minute that you go to set that intonation, it literally throws everything else off. The tuning gets changed, and then also as it goes forward, the string shortens, so then this saddle is going to dip down in because of the loss of tension, and it's just a nightmare. You're constantly, just to adjust the intonation, you're redoing the tuning, you're redoing the tension up here is where you want the saddle to float to and whatever. Now, after you get all that shit up, is it literally took me like 45 minutes to intonate this guitar, just because of all the little mechanisms and all the bullshit and trade-offs that you have to deal with while you're doing it. I went on the website because if you have it in zone 2 right now, we can see the saddles as I pull them. I'm not sure if you can hear that clicking. That's the string hitting the backstop. Right now it's floating in a pretty good area where it will keep the guitar in tune. The problem is, bends do nothing. You can't bend the notes. So what the Evertune website says is to tune the string up till you get to a sharp there, and then back this off a little bit. Okay? So then you can get bends out of it. The only problem is that it doesn't work that easy. When you tune it up to that sharp note and then you back it off, the tuning, when this is really close to hitting the front stop, that tuning is off now. Until I put it back into the middle of like that zone 2. Now it's in tune. But when it's very close to that front stop, to like that easy bend mode or whatever, the tuning is not perfect. It doesn't just, like when you pluck it, it doesn't just stay on the E until you hit that sharp. As you go forward, the pitch will slowly increase and then it'll spike. So when you put it in bending mode, you're throwing the entire tuning of the guitar off. So here's another view of this guitar. It really is a damn shame because this guitar is definitely gorgeous. Just super black color. The set through neck. It's got you can't really see it, but it's got the white binding with the pearl on top. The bridge is the only downfall of this guitar. So, I mean, some of the pros and cons of the guitar is it is gorgeous. Other than that eyesore right there, that thing is just huge and bulky, and I think the chrome, I think if it was black, it would be less visually disgusting. So, I mean, like I said, the pros, it is a gorgeous guitar. Some of the cons, the Evertune is a complete nightmare to intonate because of all those trade-offs. This guitar is very heavy. Like, just compared to my other guitars, it feels heavy as hell. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels heavy. The second con of this guitar is that the Evertune does not do what it's supposed to do. I mean, if you're in that zone 2 where those bridges are floating like I was talking about, then you're fine if you don't ever plan on bending the strings. If you want to bend, that area of the bridge that you need to be in to be able to do bends without having to, like, stretch this thing insanely way out here just to get that E string to bend just a little bit, that area is so unbelievably finicky. You're just going to freaking struggle with it for hours trying to get it just right. So the guitar is just a pain in the ass. What they've done, a lot of websites say they haven't reinvented the wheel, they've just improved it. I do not think that this bridge is an improvement to guitars. I honestly don't. I don't know how to describe it. And I don't know why, but I think this is crooked. Like, see how I can move this bridge left and right? Well, if you look up here on the neck, this is about as level as I can get it. The E string is closer to the edge than this string. And I think it's the bridge, because over the pickups it's perfectly lined up. I think it's just the bridge. There's this huge gap on this side, and then on this side there's barely any gap. So it looks like all these bridges or all these saddles are being like shoved this way. So then of course the strings aren't centered over the frets, which is just a bigger pain in the ass, because if you're playing anything on these frets, you get that thing where you slide off accidentally. I'm actually really disappointed in LTD for even putting out this piece of crap, because I love LTDs. I love ESP guitars. This thing is an abomination. I would never, ever buy another one of these. So that's just my 2 cents. If you don't want to listen to my review and just ignore it, or post all sorts of hate comments about how I'm wrong or I'm not using it right, my best advice to you is to go out to a music store or order one if you're going to try to be a fan of one of these things. Order it, and then you can deal with the nightmares. Well, I just stick to good old-fashioned tune-o-matic bridges that I've been using for the last 18 years that have never caused me any problems. Some of the key selling points of this is they're like, oh, well, if you're in the studio, time is money, and you don't want to be tuning your guitar every 10 minutes. That's complete horseshit. That is like a scare tactic, similar to when they scared people out of drinking tap water because it was so bad for them, and then everybody bought up bottled water, like they needed it all of a sudden. You don't need this bridge. I have a 7-string and a 6-string, both of them LTDs, that have tune-o-matic bridges with string through. I tune them maybe once a week because I use proper string gauges and I know what the hell I'm doing. If you use something like 8s on it, yeah, you're going to have to tune it every frickin' day. I got the standard tension 10s, that come on the guitar. And those 2 guitars stay in tune perfectly. They're intonated perfectly. My relief stays perfect. The action stays perfect. and never have to mess around with them. And they stay in cases so they don't get affected by humidity or weather changes or temperature changes or anything like that. As long as you just take care of your shit, you shouldn't have to tune it every friggin' 20 minutes. But I would not suggest buying this. I don't think $1,000 is worth this headache right there. This guitar, I wish they would honestly re-release the MH1000 with this black and that pearl binding with just a regular Tune-o-matic and not that frickin' Evertune. That would be a guitar I would buy because this thing is awesome except for that damn bridge. So that's just my opinion. Like I said, take it as you want. If you don't believe me, I suggest you go try one and then you can confirm the nightmare that is the Evertune bridge.